Starting. Okay. Welcome to GeekGarden's first episode of Stay Indoors, our little discussion / podcast / review / us hanging out and talking about stuff. For episode 1, we're going to be doing Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, because it's kind of the hot topic in superheroes right now, and Civil War hasn't come out yet. So,
2 weeks.
So we're just going to start off with a little bit of general...
I'm going to turn down the volume of this real quick.
I got you.
Thank you. I don't need any volume. Just like fucking cut that shit down.
Yeah, okay.
We're going to know about Scarecrow.
Oh no!
I want to know about
Scarecrow.
Scarecrow.
Well, Scarecrow wasn't in Batman v Superman, so...
He was the most important part of Batman vs.
Because
he wasn't in
it.
Spoilers! He's the surprise villain.
He was the movie.
Actually, we should mention, though, this thing is going to be chock full of spoilers.
Like, we haven't seen it yet.
If you want to save anything, which, as you'll find out, might not be worth it.
And it's been how long?
This is, like, super full of spoilers. There's not going to be, like, individual spoiler warnings, because this is just the full spoiler train ride all the way along. That said, what were your guys' general impressions, general thoughts overall of the movie?
I saw it most recently. I saw it last night.
Yeah.
And I think because I completely spoiled the entire movie for myself beforehand, like I knew all the major plot points that happened and all that kind of shit, I like really enjoyed it. Like really, really enjoyed it. And so I had fun, and I was stoked on it.
Okay.
Tom?
I really wanted to like it. I really did. Like, halfway through the movie, I was just like, come on, I want to like this. Why don't I like it? I'm, like, at the point where I'm, like, throwing my want of loving this movie at this movie, and it's just not giving it back to me. And I'm just like, come on, guys. Come on.
That's fair enough. How about yourself, Jack?
I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as Sean. Like, before I even watched it, like there was just I was just reading some things about it. Like I didn't obviously want to spoil anything, but like I'm just reading some things about it, and it's like
Just
nothing.
Like generally, what's the movie like and stuff?
Yeah, nothing was really going well for it. So I was like, I instantly got this impression. And I was like, okay, well, like, shit. I mean, like I wanted to like the movie while watching it, but it's just I don't know. It's just there were so many things that just happened, and I was so wrong about it that like. I enjoyed it. It was fun and great and all, but I would not see it again.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of the same, like, with Sean. I think I told you, like, after I saw it, but before you saw it, I said, like, up to 40 minutes into the movie, I was thinking, like, man, they actually got some stuff right. Like, they're setting this up. Because normally the Batman versus Superman debate isn't one that I can even really get behind.
Yeah, because it's dumb.
Because it's just, like, it doesn't work for me. But I was like, okay, I see the angle they're going with, and I kind of get it. And they actually got me on board for the first 40 minutes. And then they spent basically the rest of the movie tearing down that trust that I built up and that investment that I developed into the film.
Yeah.
And I think that they just, like, I also want to say, like, Zack Snyder is getting a lot of flack for this film. And I do think that there's a lot of things that he did not great. Like, there's decisions he could have done better. But I also think that it's really easy for us to sit here and do that. I think the criticism's important, but we also have to remember, like, he had to actually make the movie.
Yeah.
But also, he was under tremendous pressure from the studios.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you can tell. They were like Warner Bros. Was clearly like, hey, make it so that we can make the DC Avengers, like, in a movie from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
so...
want to see Wonder Woman and The Flash and Aquaman, and it's like, how do I do that?
Yeah, exactly.
The thing I actually found funny was that right away, like, this movie is like nothing like Avengers. I feel like they're two very different like approaches to like the superhero movie.
Yeah.
But also like, I might be biased because like I knew all the like shitty things that people talked about this movie already before I saw it. But I actually found it like really refreshing not to take a lot of time on some of the characters. Like when like Flash showed up, I was just like, that's cool. Like he's in here, and it was like super quick, and I was like, I just really appreciate it, and I was kind of like happy that there wasn't like, I don't know, with Avengers there was such a build-up. Like, it was like, hey, here's Iron Man 2, here's Thor, here's Cap, and like I love that. But it was just kind of refreshing to have something be like, okay, you're in this world, and like there's so much shit. Like, look what's going on.
Yeah. But I think for me that actually it raised a lot of questions, because one of the things that I came away with was I'm already confused about the state of the world 2 movies in.
Yeah, that's true.
There was a lot of stuff, like implied backstory with Batman specifically, and I want to talk more about Batman in a little bit, because he's obviously a huge part of the movie. But there's a lot of stuff like about Batman's place in the world and his history with Gotham, and clearly he's already fought Joker. It looks like he's already lost a Robin. There's a lot of speculation over which one it is. Like, obviously, you would think Jason Todd, but nobody really knows for sure.
I also love how Gotham is like across the water from Metropolis.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, it's like New Jersey to
It's
Yeah,
like
New
New
York,
York.
New York,
Boom. Yeah. But,
Which I thought was weird.
so, Batfleck.
Oh,
He's
dude,
so great.
that was so
Hey,
good.
like right away, it was funny. I
love
I went with Julie, and like her first thought was like, that Batman in that movie felt like the Batman in like the video games you guys play. And I was like, yeah, like he's a badass, and like he uses tech, and he's smart, and like I
He's
don't
a
know,
little bit crazy.
he fit in the
Still a
world
little bit
really well,
crazy.
and like yeah, and I felt those scenes where he got really emotional, where he got like really angry at Superman or like whatever. I was like, yeah, because Batman is fucking an emotional wreck. And I
Yeah.
was like, that makes sense.
It was so good.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like, I don't know, there was just something about the approach of him using gadgets and like kind of being more of a strategist that kind of, I went like, yeah, this is a Justice League Batman. And I
Yeah.
was like super stoked about it because you could tell that people still feared him and thought he was like a brute in like the human world, but then when it came to like Superman and Wonder Woman showing up, it was like, I
He's
can't
like,
do
I'm
shit.
going to stay back.
Like when he's like running from Doomsday, he's like, no, ah!
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I loved him.
Makes sense.
Batman does kill people now.
Yes.
Yeah, Batman murders a ton of
And-
Which
people.
didn't bother me at all.
The thing is, it doesn't bother me in essence because I feel like the degree to which people will go to have Batman not kill people starts to feel ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah.
Like Arkham Knight, for example, where it's like, my car has an electroshock thing and I fire suppressive
Yeah,
rounds and
yeah.
like I'm running into people but they're fine. Like
Yeah.
it gets a little ridiculous. I just wish that there was a little bit more spent on it, I think. A little bit more
Yeah.
of like Alfred acknowledging the fact that Batman's like going a little farther now and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think
But-
the thing is they're trying to set up that Batman doesn't kill people, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden just kind of
His
throws
the
it.
whole conflict with him and Superman, Batman kind of loses the moral high ground that they try to give him.
Yeah.
And I mean it's coming off Man of Steel where he did like straight up murder Zod
Well,
and
crack his
well,
neck in half.
yeah. So and that was difficult for me because I feel like they didn't get the Superman thing. I like the angle personally of normal people being scared of Superman's level of power.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
No, I thought
he's
that
not
was
trusting
so
it. That's
cool.
great. My problem is that they're kind of right. The Superman is really reckless.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not just that he can destroy things; it's that
That
he
he
does and
has.
doesn't seem to care.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Like-
destroyed Metropolis.
Like if they'd set it up more in Man of Steel, where he was breaking all these buildings, but he was trying not to while he was
Yeah.
fighting Zod, but he couldn't quite figure it out.
Yeah.
And then you just see the other perspective, you would instantly understand where both people are coming from. But I personally felt like the conflict between them was never really defined.
No,
I never
I
really
like.
understood where either one was coming from.
Yeah, that was one of my least favorite parts of the movie was like how they approached the conflict between Batman and Superman. I was like, and then the reason why they end up fighting, and I was kind of like,
Yeah.
that's
he's dumb.
lame. I was like, you stole Superman's
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
I thought it was supposed to be kind of like a political kind of
Like
like
a battle of
ideologies
ideologies.
or something,
Yeah.
right? And it was just, I was super disappointed. I was like, that's okay.
Lex
sure,
is like,
why
yeah,
not?
go kill Batman.
Also, Lex Luthor, since we're on the subject.
Lex Luthor was, I will admit, probably my least favorite part of the movie. That said, though, I really liked him at the beginning, and I really liked him at the end. Like, throughout the movie, I was kind of like, him as a character, I didn't like. Like, the design of Lex Luthor and everything was kind of weird. His place in the plot, I kind of felt was nice. He was kind of like this weird catalyst who just, like, he was just crazy, and, like, he was like, all these powers, and they're coming anyways, and, like, I don't know, it was just kind of weird.
The red capes are coming.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so, like, at the beginning, when you first meet him on the screen, I was kind of like, does anyone else want to play?
Sure. I'll beat some of it.
He like when he first shows up, I was like, okay, they're taking like this weird approach where he's kind of like this like young millennial style like rich billionaire who's like inherited his father's company, and like I was kind of digging it for a second, but then as the movie went, I was like, no, this doesn't suit like Lex Luthor at all. It's kind of weird. But then at the end, when they shaved his head. And that whole scene where like he's really lost his nuts and he's like talking about like other aliens coming or whatever because he like went to the ship and like and learned a bunch of stuff. I thought that was a kind of interesting take on Lex Luthor as well. That said though, like as a one-off, completely different style Lex Luthor, I liked it, but like as a Lex Luthor, it was awful.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming
Like-
from. Where he was an interesting character,
Yeah,
but he's not what I wanted to see. From
yeah.
Lex Luthor.
And if he's gonna be like, if he's not gonna be recurring, I can dig it. Like it's kind of interesting. It's a weird take on him, but like if it's not gonna be a recurring Lex Luthor, I like it. But if he was, but I don't know. It just bothers me because like the Lex Luthor I know and love is like this like tall, very charismatic. Like he becomes the president of the United States.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
He has a
exactly.
very different style. Of,
No one's going to elect
No.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and
It's going to be a Donald Trump situation.
and again, like it's another case where I don't even fault Jesse Eisenberg. I think he did what he could with what he
No,
had.
yeah.
I think it wasn't well written, and I just think it wasn't well cast.
No,
Something really funny though. Actually, when we came out of the movie last night, Julie also. She doesn't know as much about comics obviously than we do, so she like doesn't know like who the secret identities of some characters are, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She straight up thought that like the Lex Luthor in this movie was Joker. Like she was like she thought because she was comparing it to the Heath Ledger.
He's got a very Joker.
Well, yeah, and then like the
whole
Heath Ledger
personality.
Joker with like the longer hair and everything.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, I thought Lex Luthor was like gonna turn into the Joker. Like that's how creepy and weird he was with like the long hair. And I was like, I don't blame you. Like that's
Like he laughs
fair.
maniacally, and he's kind of like a crazy guy, and yeah.
That's insane.
Doomsday, since you brought it up.
Doomsday.
I think Doomsday, for me, is the biggest example of them trying to do too much in this film.
Yeah.
Because I actually thought it was kind of interesting, like, okay, I thought they introduced Kryptonite really well by having Lex experimenting on Zod's body, and that's how they discover that there's this rock that can affect the Kryptonians.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. I actually was like, you know what, if you want to consolidate it, because the movie universe can't be as big as the comics, and you just want to have Doomsday be like a weird mutated version of a Kryptonian and Zod's body, I can even get behind that. But, I mean, the death of Superman was like a game changer in the comics. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And Doomsday is a big deal, and he just kind of gets thrown in there. And I think that if this movie had been spread out, if this movie was Batman versus Superman, and you spend the whole time with Batman and Superman, battle of the ideologies, whatever, then the next movie is maybe you would get like a Batman solo film of him fighting his villains.
Yeah.
And then you get Death of Superman, and you started to introduce like little cameos, the other characters along the way. Then Batman fights Doomsday, and then Superman fights Doomsday, and then meanwhile Batman's like, okay, he was like our last line of defense. The idea of Superman's death creating the Justice League is actually really interesting.
I really liked it, and then like Batman wanting to find like these other metahumans with Wonder Woman. I thought it was really, really
there's
cool.
always the thing where you say to yourself, like, if you have Superman, you really need a whole other team.
Yeah.
You know, when he's that strong. But when Batman realizes that he's a good guy for a dumb reason, and then says, okay, we need like a team to help us because we don't have him anymore.
Yeah. I'm gonna mention something about that Martha thing too, but first thing I was gonna say was that like the fact that it was Doomsday and then the fact that they ended with Superman's death, I thought was completely unnecessary. Like I feel like they could have either done a different villain and also avoided Superman's death. But like the way that the reason why Doomsday was there, I thought was interesting. Like how Lex like finds the ship and then he ends up like learning all this knowledge about like the universe that like the humans know nothing about, and he ends up finding out about Darkseid and like all kinds of like other alien forces, something like that. And then he's like, oh, like I can use this technology to my advantage, and then like I thought that was cool.
Which I understood that, but like the whole thing with the ship thing, like how he created Doomsday, like how did that?
It was
like,
them like fixing Zod. So basically, what happened is that like Lex like spilled his blood on Zod, and the computer read it as like a what's the term they use? I can't remember.
Genetic
they used it as like a genetic mutation or impurity, an impurity, and so like the ship then used metamorphosis to like fix Zod, and then that's kind of how they explain like why Doomsday can like become invulnerable to whatever he gets exposed to, because like the computer made him into this some kind of being that is able to transform and make itself better. That's the way I took it anyways, was basically like they detected the human impurity and they're like, no, like you're not allowed to be human, like impure, because the ship is set to like how Krypton used to be with all the like pure Kryptons.
Right.
That's how I took it anyways. I don't know if you guys got that.
I felt like it was very rushed.
I didn't get anything at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did not get anything at all. It was like, all of a sudden he gave his blood, and then all of a sudden he turns into Doomsday.
And now he's Doomsday.
Yeah,
that's kind of
what?
Yeah.
That's how I got over that.
Doomsday, Wonder Woman, and I think most of the plot points to do with Superman's death were just like thrown in.
Yeah.
Like we didn't need Wonder Woman in this film, especially like in a film Batman vs Superman. I would have liked to have her introduced as her own movie.
Yeah. So we are running short on time here in terms of how we're going to get for this. Do you want to record this, have it 2 separate bits, and then we'll just throw it on, and we can do maybe like...
Yeah, so I think we'll end the first video here.
Okay, yeah, we're going to do like part 1, part 2?
And,
Or do we want to just keep it rolling, record this off, and then record 2 separate bits of the gameplay, and then just put it on? We can do that too. We can just keep talking right now.
I think we should just end this video and just like have one video, and then we'll upload some more later. Like we can keep talking about we'll upload a little more.
Okay, cool. So this is gonna be part 1 of our Batman v Superman discussion. It's the Batman of the v Superman. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter. We Twitch semi-regularly.
We Twitch. We do Twitch.
And yeah, this is our first YouTube video, so please do subscribe if you're even remotely interested, and we'll get back at you with some more stuff. Thanks, guys.
Sweet.
Thank you.